heard this.
Well, Skip, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he gives an opportunity, and Pete Carroll seems like a guy that, and when you look at this, let's cut to the chase, Skip. They've given Josh Gordon, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is his sixth. He's coming off his sixth suspension.
I can't even count them. They're so complicated now that I'm not. It could be 7, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give him 6 since 2013, right, and his 5th for substance abuse.
All right.
But it goes to show you when teams want to give you a second chance, what do? New England gave him a second chance. Cleveland gave him so many before he left. Even Seattle. But when Colin Kaepernick, they'll find every reason why he shouldn't be in the league, and they'll give you every reason why Josh Gordon should be in the league. I got no problem with it. I'm glad they gave him an opportunity. Hopefully, this is the one that says, you know what, the light bulb goes off and says, you know what, I've been given so many opportunities, and I realize how fortunate, how blessed I am to be playing this wonderful game. I'm glad. But, Skip, do they realize when Josh Gordon gets there, you know what he should do? He should walk up to DK Metcalf and says, I was you 7, 8 years ago.
Oh, was he?
This is what he should have been. What you see in DK Metcalf is Josh Gordon, minus the issues.
By the way, 2013, Josh Gordon, first team All-Pro.
Led the league in receiving yards after missing 2 games.
3 straight games. Steelers, 237. Jacksonville, 261. These are receiving yards. And at New England, 151 receiving yards. Those are 3 in a row. He's just dominating the whole league. Go ahead.
And that's why Coach Belichick says, if I ever get a chance to get that guy, I don't care what, I want him.
Yep.
I want him on my roster.
He did.
That's what, Skip, that's what's so sad about this. Because when I look at DK Metcalf, I see Josh Gordon and what Josh Gordon could have been.
6'3", 225. So he's in the same height and
ripped
weight.
up, yoked up.
Yep.
But Skip, look, I think Pete Carroll, this is a situation where Pete says, you know what, I just want to throw the guy. Because if you look at it, he got DK Metcalf, who's leading the league in receiving. Tyler Lockett, we just saw Tyler Lockett 4 weeks ago go 15 catches, 200 yards against the Cardinals. And David Moore just caught a touchdown against the Eagles on Monday night.
Yep.
So he comes in, he's what? He's the 4th best receiver on that team?
Yep.
How many balls? How many balls he's actually going to get?
And by the way, what did you tell me at the end of his New England run? He looked like he had the proverbial piano on the back.
Yes. But I just hope, and I'm holding out hope that this is the one. This is the time. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but I just hope this is the time that the light bulb goes off and he realizes how fortunate it is and how many, because there's so many guys that didn't get this opportunity. But I think also, Skip, because we don't look at marijuana like we once did. We look how many states are legalizing it and how they're decriminalizing the possession of it. And so I think
now the NBA.
The NBA said we ain't even tested for it. I don't know if the NFL is going to go that far, Skip, but I am happy that he's back. Hopefully he takes full advantage of this situation. But I want him to, Josh Gordon should know, he cost himself for probably about $50, $60 million.
He did, and he couldn't help himself.
He couldn't help himself, Skip.
History would scream to you that he will fail again, because all he's done his whole life is fail, because nobody has ever helped him not fail.
Right.
These leagues, back to college football, back to high school, back to middle school football, have only enabled him to continue to fail. And he had a great quote couple of years back. He says, I have been enabled most of my life, honestly. I've been enabled by coaches, teachers, professors. Everybody pretty much gave me a second chance just because of my ability. So quickly.
And that's the reason why you took advantage of it, because of your ability, and you knew you would get a second chance.
Let's just quickly run through his history of drug and alcohol abuse. It started in middle school. And listen, I've been around Josh enough. I've told you this before. He is deep. He has high intellect. He just can't defeat his demon, but he knows all about his demon. He knows his demon as well as he knows himself. He says that he had adolescent trauma-based fear, even of going to class in school. He just wasn't comfortable in his own skin. So he said, I had to start self-medicating in 7th grade. You believe in this?
Wow.
So he uses Xanax, marijuana, and codeine starting in 7th grade, and it leads to him getting expelled from 2 middle schools, and he winds up going to, he got a basketball scholarship to what was called Westbury Christian High School in the Houston area, and he gets expelled from there, and that was for stealing electronics from other students because he just needed to pay for his drug habit.
Correct.
Okay? So that continues on to where he finally gets busted, and he is convicted of felony credit card theft, but they just put him on probation so he can't leave the state of Texas. So he has to pick a Texas school to play for, and he picks Baylor. And he goes there and immediately gets suspended for drug use, and then gets suspended a second time and kicked out of Baylor for drug use. And he said that one coach would help him beat the tests with diuretics and whatever he needed to beat those tests. And he winds up choosing Utah for his next second chance, and he goes there and gets kicked out of school for failing a drug test before he ever plays a down, okay? So look at the history. We haven't gotten to pro football yet. So what do you think's going to happen when he gets to pro football? 6 suspensions, 7, I don't know what it is. I've lost count. We might not even know of some of the things that have gone on behind the scenes, and it's been one flame out after another. He's gone to rehab. He at one point got clean and sober and stayed clean and sober for 6 months and decided to celebrate his 6-month birthday by using drugs and alcohol.
Well, Skip, you know how far you have to go in order to reach a suspension?
Yep.
You got to get popped like 2 or 3 times before they'll even suspend you. First time they just put you in the program. The second time they take a couple of game checks.
Yeah. So look, as I've said several times on this show, I grew up in a household with 2 alcoholic wrecks for parents. So I spent way too much time in my youth in rehab counseling sessions with both of my parents. And the one thing I learned is you have to hit bottom before you finally say, okay, am I going to sink or swim here? My father just decided, I can't take it anymore. I'm out. I'm done. And basically just committed suicide. My mother said, you know what? Picked myself up by my bootstraps. I'm going to AA, and I'm going to stick with AA. And by the grace of God, she beat it. Okay, so it's sink or swim. But my mother had a near fatal car wreck that finally forced her to hit bottom. This young man, who's only 29 years of age, it seems like he's been around, it seems like he should be 40.
Yes.
Right? He's 29.
29.
He should be right in the middle of his prime right now. He's never been forced to hit bottom. It's close, but the league kept saying, well, you know, we'll give you, we'll give you. And again, the league's in a tough spot because you can't deny a young man the right to work in this country if you're capable and you serve the suspension that they imposed, which they got to be full year. He just spent a whole year out of football.
What did they tell you, though, Skip?
Okay.
Talent trumps all.
Oh, trumps all. Okay. So my heart says I wish the league would say no to him so he'd be forced to face his demons and just get it straight, one way or the other. Just get right or don't get right, whatever. Save your life or don't save it, but nobody's going to force him to until finally the league says no to him. And I don't know when that's going to be.
But Skip, here's the time. I don't care. You know, they can keep getting him second chance. They can be an 18th. But there's going to come a time that he's going to age out of the NFL. And then what?
He will at some point. It feels like he's on his last stop now, but maybe I could be wrong.
Well, Skip, we thought that in New England.
I did. And
we thought that for the first time around in Seattle.
Okay, he did get cut by Bill Belichick. And usually when Belichick cuts you, this league will say, But Pete Carroll, he's got some Father Flanagan in him. I'm going to save his soul, right? I'm going to help this kid.
Except that one time he didn't have that Father Flanagan in him.
Which one?
The one that he brought the guy up in there and was talking about, well, what you know, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? You know, what's going on? The guy that, you know.
No, that guy.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different story.
You're right, Skip.
We're back to Colin Kaepernick. Yes, that is correct. That was all for show. Yes, thank you very much.
But Skip, for me, I don't know, what did they hope to get? Maybe it was a situation that, you know what, maybe, we bring him here and but Skip, every time he's always in a situation. It's not like he was out of the league. Skip, he was on the team when he was over in Cleveland when he